Hi to everyone. In this video, I'm just going to discuss about storage classes in C. Before discussing about storage classes in C, at first we will discuss about the normal variable declarations. While declaring the variable, we will declare the variable with the data type. For example, here I have declared the variable int a and I have assigned the value 6 to the variable a. So what it means once if you are declaring a variable, some free memory space which will be allocated for that variable, and if you are giving the data type, that means what type of data that you are going to store within that memory locations, that we are giving it by means of the data type. For example, here int a means some free space which will be allocated for the variable a, and we will be able to store only the integer values. Okay, so here I have assigned a is equal to 6. So a is equal to 6 means I am just going to assign 6 to the variable a. It means I am just going to store the value 6 in that particular memory locations, right? So you just consider here, just for an example, I have written here as just have an assumption as a variable a is having the memory location 2065, in which the variable 6 is stored. So it means you are just going to store that value in some memory locations. What's the relation between the variable declarations and the storage classes in C is, whenever if you are going to make use of the variable declarations, we have to consider about where that value which will get stored, whether it is stored in the memory locations or else it is stored in the registers, and so on. So in order to define these things, we can make use of the storage classes. What are the two types of locations where we can store the information is, as I said earlier, we are having the memory, some set of free memories which will be available there. There we can store the data, or else we can store our informations in our CPU registers. Okay. And what about the storage class means? As we said earlier, we are going to decide the location where we are going to store our data, right? That will be defined by the storage classes. In addition to that, we can set the default initial value. Actually, we are not able to set the default initial value. Whenever if you are defining the storage classes for some set of variables according to the types of storage classes, the default initial value of the variable will vary. Okay, so whenever if you are going to make use of the storage classes will gives an informations about the location of the variable where you are going to store that value. Okay, and another one thing is, what's the default initial value for that particular variable, and then it defines the scope of the variable and the life of the variable. Scope of the variable means, we are just going to discuss about the uh, uh, um, we are just going to discuss about the value of the variable, how long it will be active, that will comes under the life of the variable. When coming to the scope of the variable means, if you are declaring some particular value, what are all the regions in which that value can be accessible, that is called as the scope of the variable. Everything we will discuss in the next slide. Okay, and here, what are all the storage classes which is available in C is, we are having the four types of storage classes in C. One is auto, and next one is register, static, and extend. So we are having four storage classes. One is auto, next one is register, and next one is static, and next one is extern. Okay. So before discussing about these types of storage classes, at first we will discuss about the common terminologies that we are going to discuss about these four storage classes. Whatever the type may be, we are going to discuss about storage and default initial value, scope of the variable, and the life of the variable. Storage, as we said earlier, the location of the variable in which the values of the variables which will get stored, that comes under the storage. It may be of a memory locations, or else it may be of a register. And default initial value, whenever if you are declaring the variable, what's the default value which is present in that variable before the initializing it explicitly by the programmer, that is called as a default initial value. The next one is the scope. When coming to the scope of the variable, it determines over the region of the program of a variable, for which the value of that variable will be active for use. That will be called as a scope of a variable. For example, if you are declaring A and you are assigning A is equal to 6, means you might have been declared that variable within the main functions. It means that variable can be accessible only within that main functions, right? We couldn't access it in the user defined functions. So we can say the scope of the variable, local variable A, as within that main functions only. That is called as a scope. Scope is nothing but you are just going to define the region of the program for which the variable's value is active for use. Okay, that is called as a scope of the variable. The next one is the life. Life, it can be otherwise called as a longevity. Here it refers to the period during which the variable retains a value during the execution of a program. During the execution of a program, for example, if I am assigning A is equal to 6, means I can access that value within that functions, else I can access that value throughout the execution of the program. But for some variables, I couldn't access those things throughout the execution of the program. Everything which everything which we will discuss in the demonstrations. So now just have an idea as life is nothing but the period during which the variable retains a value during the execution of a program. Okay, these are all the terms that we are going to discuss for every storage classes in C. Okay, the first one storage class is automatic, that we have already seen as auto. Actually, whenever if you are going to make use of the storage class auto, means auto, the term itself reveals it as an automatic. Okay, there is no necessity to specify it. By default, the variables which will comes under the automatic storage class only. Even if you wish to define it explicitly, means you can define it by means of the keyword auto. When coming to the automatic storage classes, when we are considering about the storage, by default these variables which will get stored, actually the values of those variables which will get stored in the memory only. And the default initial value for the automatic storage class is a garbage value only. Garbage value means it's an unpredictable value, some unwanted values which will be present in that memory locations, right? that is called as a garbage value. And the scope is it's a local means the value of that variable which will be active only within that block only, within that block where you have defined that variable. That's why we are saying it as a local. It means automatic way storage class. Whenever if you are using the automatic storage classes, those variables can be accessible only within that block. And regarding the life, as we said earlier itself, since it's a local variable, the value of that variable can be accessible only within that block only. It's not visible outside that block. These are all the specifications which will be assigned for a variable if you are declaring it in terms of the automatic storage classes. Okay. And next one is the register storage class. Everything is same just like the automatic storage class, but one and only difference, once if you are taking the register storage class, the values of those variables which will get stored in the CPU registers, not in the memory locations. It will get stored in the CPU registers, but the default initial value, just like the automatic storage class, you will have the garbage value only, and the scope is also local, and the life is also within the block in which the variable is defined. Everything is same except the storage. Here you are going to store the values in the registers. If it is of automatic means, we are just going to store the values in the memory locations. That's the one and only difference between the automatic and register storage classes. Okay. And next one is a static storage class. Here, regarding the storage, the values of the variables which will get stored in memory, and the default initial value here is 0, and the scope of the variable is local. And when you are considering about the life of the variable, the value of the variable persists between different function calls. So this will be best illustrated in by means of the example that we will see later on. But you just have an idea as the value of the variable which will persist between different function calls means, once if you are calling the function just for the first time, the values of the variables which will be initialized, and if you are calling for the second time, again it will be reinitialized. But once if you are declaring it as a static means, you may call the functions for n number of times, but the values which will be initialized just for only once only. Given in other words, we can say if you are declaring a variable and if you are calling the functions again and again means, for each time, for the first time initialization, separate memory which will be allocated for those for those variables. But if you are taking the static variable, single copy of memory which will be shared by all the things, it won't be initialized again and again. Okay. And next one thing is the external storage class. Actually, the keyword that you are going to use it for the external storage class is the keyword extern, and for the static storage class you will make use of the keyword static, and for the register storage class you will make use of the keyword register. And here when coming back to the external storage class, the term external itself reveals it's a global. External means a global here. the value, the lifetime of that variable, which will be available as long as a program execution does not comes to an end. And coming to the scope of these types of storage classes, it's a global. Since it's an external storage class, the scope is global. That means it's accessible through all over the program. Okay. And the default initial value for this one is 0, and for the storage is these variables which will get stored in the memory. Okay. And next one thing, rules for the usage of a different storage classes is we are having 4 types of storage classes. We can make use of anything, but which one is best suitable for us to make use of these types of storage classes is mainly based on the usage of the memory and the speed of the execution of the program. So we can make use of the storage classes. It can be of any type, but we should consider about how much of a memory space which will be consumed by those variables. And next one thing, we should consider about the speed of the execution of the program. Okay, this is very, very important whenever if you are doing the programs. We can prefer the static storage class if the programmer want the value of the variable to be persist between different function calls. Means by that time the programmer can choose static. And a programmer can select the register storage class only for the variables that are being used very often in the program. The reason is whenever the CPU is doing some processing, it will make use of some set of registers only. If you are trying to make use of those registers, means you are just occupying the content, you are just occupying the registers. It may slow down the process of the CPU. So try to avoid the usage of a register. You can make use of the register storage class only if you are going to make use of those variables again and again, because registers which will be used often by the CPU for all the processing. So that's why we have to be very careful while making use of the register. Okay. And next one is the external storage class. We can make use of the keyword extern. While making use of the keyword extern, we have to be very careful for us. If the programmer wishes to make use of those variables in all the functions in the program, means by that time you can make use of the extern keyword. The reason is if you are making use of the global declaration, means by that time the memory which will be occupied by that variable throughout your program. Okay, so the memory wastage which will be high whenever if you are using the external storage class, because even though if you are not at all making use of that variable, the memory which will be occupied by that variable. But if you are using the local variable outside that block, that memory which will not be used. So whenever if you are using the external storage class, you should consider about the wastage of memory. So only if that variable is used by all the functions in your program, means you can declare the external storage class, or else you just have the default type as automatic itself. Okay. And the next one thing is by default automatic storage class is often used by all the programmers. Even if you are declaring a variable without specifying any keyword of the storage classes, means by default it will be considered as an automatic only. So no problem at all for the default storage class automatic, right? And next we are going to discuss about the examples of these storage classes. Yes, first we are going to discuss about the example for the automatic storage class. You just see here. This is the program to illustrate the automatic way storage classes. This is the comment section that I have given here as usual. Then I have included the header files stdio.h and conio.io.h, and I have declared the variable as int a. I haven't defined any storage classes here, but by default it will get stored in the memory locations only. And here I'm just assigning 5 to the variable a, and I'm just printing the content of the variable a. You just see the execution here. I'm running this program. I'm just getting the value as 5. Okay, so here I can introduce the CLR, SCR to clear the content of the screen. And here I may give the messages value of the variable A is. Okay, so now you just see here, I'm running it once again. The value of the variable a is 5. Now the thing we have to check whether these values, that means the value of the variable a is stored in the memory locations or else in the register. In order to check that one, we can print the memory location of the variable. For example, here I can print the memory location of the variable a is percentage u. If we wish to print the address of the variable, we can make use of the percentage u, and we have to make use of ampersand here so as to represent the address of the variable a. Now check the output. First I am compiling my program and then running my program. You just see here the value of the variable a is 5 and the memory location of the variable a is 65524. It means you are getting the address of that variable. This address itself defines the value of the variable a is stored in the memory locations. Okay, this is by default. Even if you are going to store it by means of the keyword auto, means you will not find any difference here. Just I am giving the keyword auto and I'm running my program. Again I'm getting the memory locations only. There is no change in it, right? So this is a thing. Whenever if you wish to make use of the automatic storage class, we should make use of the keyword auto. That keyword which must be defined, which must be typed before the data type. Okay, and those variables which will get the values of those variables which will get stored in the memory locations only. And another one thing regarding the scope of the variable, for example, here I am just going to define one user defined function as void demo. I'm just I would like to print the value of the variable a. So percentage d comma a, and I'm going to call the function here, for example, demo. right? I'm compiling my program. You just see here I'm getting the error message as undefined symbol a. The reason is the storage class that I have defined here is auto. It means this variable can be accessible only within the block where I have declared. Here the variable a is declared within the block main only. That's why I can access this variable only within the block main only. I can't access this variable in the user defined function demo. So this is an example for the automatic variables. And next one, we are going to discuss about the another one, storage classes, extern. Extern. Just see here, this is an example for the key type extern. You just see here, I can declare the variable even within the main function too. Even if I'm declaring the number variable within the main function, means that function, that variable can be accessible within the main only. I couldn't access it in my user defined functions. So in order to access those variables in the user defined functions too, I can declare the global variable, right? And another one thing, if I'm going to declare the global variable before the main function, means definitely I won't get any error message. For example, I'm compiling this one, I'm not all getting any error message here. But if I'm going to declare this global variable below the main, for example, I have declared here as int num, and I'm compiling my program. I'm getting the error message as undefined symbol number. The reason here is the program execution starts from the main function only. So we should give the information to the compiler as number is the external variable which is declared at somewhere places in this program, or else it may be in some other program too. Okay, so for such a thing, here you have to make use of the keyword extern. So what you have to do it here is within the main function, you should give the information to the compiler as extern, and the data type of the variable is int, and the name of that variable is number. It means you are just going to give the information to the compiler as number is of the data type int, and it is of the type extern storage class. It means you are just going to give the information to the compiler as a number is a variable of the type external storage class. Okay, so you just see the reference here. Now I am compiling here. I am not all getting any error message here. The reason here is since I have given the keyword extern, we have given the information to the compiler. That's why the compiler is not at all showing us any error message here. Okay, and I am running my program here. I am getting the I'm just going to print the value of the variable. Wait a minute. Here at first I will give the CLR, the SCR, so as to clear the previous content of the screen. So compile your program and then run your program. So it prints the messages 6. Is it clear? Once again I am saying extern keyword, it's used for the global declaration. Why you are saying it as a global declaration means whenever you can declare the variable at anywhere places, but you can give the information to the compiler, and you can make use of that variable at anywhere places in your program by means of the keyword extend. That's about the external storage class. And next one is the static. Next one is the static. So we can select the program. Yes, you just see here, this is a program to illustrate the static storage class. You just see here, as usual, I have given the comment section, and I have included the header files as usual, and I have declared one function as void num. Okay. And I have defined the main functions in which I have declared one variable I. As usual, I have cleared the content of the output screen using CLR SCR, and I am using one for loop for I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to 6, I plus plus. Within this for loop, I am just going to call the user defined function num. So when I is equal to 0, num will be called. When I is equal to 1, again it will be called. When I is equal to 2, again it will be called. Right? So you just see here, when you are compiling your program and you are running your program, means by that time your program control will be shifted from this place to the place where you have defined the function. And here in the function num, I have declared here one variable as team, and I am just incrementing the content of the variable team. And here I am just going to print that value 2. So printf t equal to percentage d slash n t. So what's happening here is I have already mentioned you, if it is of other storage classes, a default value for the automatic and for the registers, you will have some garbage values. But for the static alone, you will get the 0. Since it's of the integer type in C, the default value will be 0 only, even though if you are not at all declaring it by means of the keyword static. Okay. Let's see the execution of this program. No error message in the compilation process, and now I am running my program. I am getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It means you haven't initialized the variable t as a t is equal to 0, but automatically it is initialized as 0, and we are getting the values as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 when we are incrementing it. How we are getting this output means, when the value of I is equal to 0, num will be invoked. By that time, this t will be initialized and this t will be incremented. So 1 t value is equal to 1, and that value will be printed. What will happen next time means, when I is equal to 1, again the num value, again we are invoking the function num. That's why we are not all again going to initialize the variable t. We are just going to make use of that same memory location t only. So the previous value is 1, now it is incremented as 2, and it will be printed. In such a way, the values will be printed again and again till the value of I exceeds the value of 6. Okay. So this process is continued again and again. That's why we are getting the output as t is equal to 1, t is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Okay. Now what we are going to do it here is, here I am just going to call this function once again as num within the same loop itself. Now see the difference in the output. t is equal to 1. This is the value for the first call. T is equal to 1. This is the value printed for the second call of num. And t is equal to 2 for the first call of num. T is equal to 2 for the second call of num. In such a way, the values is printed up to 7. Okay. Now what I am just going to do it here is, instead of declaring the variable just the key by the automatic storage classes, I am just going to define it by means of the static. If I am giving the static keyword before the data type of the variable, means automatically it comes under the static storage class. It means single copy of memory which will be shared throughout the execution of the program. Now you see the difference here. I'm just compiling the program and again I'm running my program. See the difference, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and the value is printed up to 14. What's the reason? Yes, let's see the explanation for that output here. When the value of I is, when the value of the variable value of the variable I is equal to 0 for the first time, by that time num will be invoked, right? But here I have given the keyword static for the variable t. It means a single copy of memory will be created and by default the value for that variable will be 0. So here we are incrementing it by 1, means now the value of the variable is equal to 1 and that value will be printed as 1. Again the value of after the execution of the first num, the next statement within the for loop is again num. But if it is not at all of the type static, means again the t value which will be initialized as 0. But since the value of the variable t is of the type static, it will be initialized just for only once, no? So it will make use of the previous value. What's the previous value? Previous value is 1. So that means 1 plus 1, 2. And that value will be printed. Now again the value of I will be incremented. Now I is equal to 1. And by that time num will be invoked. That means what's the previous value of t? T is equal to 2. Now it will be incremented as 3 and that value is printed. And next what it will happen, the next statement is num only. So it won't reinitialize a variable again. It will make use of that same content only. So the previous value is 3, means 3 plus 1, 4. So 4 will be printed. So this process which will be continued again and again until the value of I exceeds the value of 6. So that's why we are getting the output as t is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and it is printed up to 14. Okay. This is about the static and as we said earlier, the static variable can be accessible only within the block only. We couldn't access it outside the block. For example, if I am trying to print the value of the variable t here, means I couldn't access it because it's only accessible only within that block only. Okay, this is about the static storage class. And next one is the register storage class. Okay, let's take the program for register. You just see here, if you are going to make use of the register storage class, means we should make use of the keyword register. this register keyword must be typed before the data type of that variable. Everything is same as it is in the local variable. If it is of a local variable, the value of that variable which will get stored in the memory locations. But for the register, the value of that variable which will get stored in the register only. Just to illustrate that one, here we are going to do the one program. Here I have declared the variable n of the data type int and the type of the storage class here I have used is register. Then as usual I have used a CLR for clearing the content of the screen, and I am initializing the value of the variable n6, and I'm just going to print the value of the variable n here. Now see the output here. The value of n is 6. Okay. Now what I'm just going to do it here is, I have already mentioned you there is only one difference between the automatic and the register storage classes. If it is of automatic means, we will just store the informations in the memory locations. By default it will get stored in the memory locations, but if it is of the type register, it will get stored in the register, right? So what I'm just going to do it here is, I'm just going to print the address of this one. Okay, address of the variable n is percentage u, and here as we typed in the automatic variable, here we can type ampersand just for printing the address of the variable n. Now see the difference here. Compile this one, very interesting one. We are getting an error message. Just kindly note this error message carefully. Must take address of a memory location. It means this variable. It means the value of this variable which is not at all get stored in the memory locations. The reason is we couldn't access the address of the register by means of the ampersand. We couldn't access the address of the register. We can access only the address of the memory locations only. You just see this error message once again. Must take address of a memory location means easily you can understand, as the value of this variable is not at all get stored in the memory location. Instead of that one, it gets stored in the register. So this is the one and only way to understand as the value of the variable when coming to the storage classes which has been stored in the register and not all in the memory locations, right? So and next one thing, if you are making use of the register keyword means, you will be able to access these things only within the block only. You couldn't access it outside the block. So this is about the register storage class. So in this video, I have discussed about the 4 types of storage classes. One is the auto, static, extern and register. And we have seen the examples for all these 4 types. I hope that you have understand the concepts very clearly. In case if you are having any doubt, kindly post your queries. Thank you.